What's up, everybody? It's Erica again from The In-Between. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any future Make Money Online reviews like this one. If you are watching this video, then you've probably come across the Respondent.io program and you're wondering if it's actually a good way to make money online. It's a platform that pays people to participate in research studies, interviews, and product testing sessions, all to make profit. But before you get too excited about it, and before you assume this is some kind of steady side hustle, I want to break down how Respondent.io actually works, who it works best for, and why a lot of people sign up and never really earn much from it in the long run. But if you're looking for something that's way more scalable, much more profitable, and that actually lets you build something that you own 100% online, much like the digital leasing model I personally run that continues to pay me every single month, then go ahead and click on the link below to check it out. And just a quick disclaimer before we get started, guys, I'm not affiliated with Respondent.io in any way. This is all just my honest take based on my own research, experience with the platform, and what other real users are saying about it online. With that being said, let's jump right in. So from what I've seen, Respondent.io isn't really a course, but more so a platform that connects its users with different companies all around the world doing market research. So instead of doing little surveys for basically pennies, you're applying for research interviews, product tests, and calls where companies want feedback from specific types of people. And that's why the payouts look higher than normal survey apps, because companies are not just paying for random opinions. They usually want people with certain jobs, industry, or experience that matches their criteria. So the platform works more like a matching system, and if your background fits, you might get picked, or if it doesn't, you may apply a lot and get nowhere. Now, when you do sign up, you're basically creating your profile, adding your background details, and starting to apply for studies immediately. Then you answer all of your screening questions, wait to hear back, and if you are chosen, you do the session and get paid. So there's not really training inside like a normal course, like I mentioned. The real thing here is that you're getting access to study listings and a chance to apply. And with that said, the whole upside is that some studies do pay well, as you can see here. But with that being said, the downside is that most people are not going to qualify for everything, and many won't even qualify for anything in many cases. Now, when it comes to their online rep, Respondent.io does have some positive feedback from users on Trustpilot who say they were able to qualify for studies and get paid for participating in different research interviews. But when you dig into some of the one-star reviews, a lot of the complaints start to sound very familiar. And one of the biggest issues people do talk about is qualifying for studies. Many people say that they spent a lot of time filling out screening questions and applying for different studies, but rarely got accepted, while others say that they applied to dozens of studies and never even made any money at all. Another common complaint is around the payment when a problem came up. Beyond that, on Reddit, the story is pretty similar. A lot of people say that the platform looks promising at first because the payouts seem high, but once they start applying, they realized just how selective it actually is. Many Redditors say that they spent weeks or even months on end applying without getting chosen for a single study. So while the platform can work for some people, the majority of its users say that it ends up feeling frustrating and inconsistent. Now, when it comes to the actual pricing, obviously Respondent.io doesn't charge people to sign up as participants. Instead, companies will pay to run research studies and then recruit people through their platform. But as for users completing studies, the pay can actually look pretty good just depending on the type of research. For example, focus groups or user interviews that last anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes can pay around $150 up to $350 or more, while shorter things like regular surveys might only pay around $10 to $75, and unmoderated tests can pay about $25 up to $100. Longer projects like diary studies that run over several days can pay up to $300, so the payouts can be higher than typical survey sites. But again, guys, you still have to apply and actually get selected for studies first, which seems to be the common denominator, which means the income isn't always going to be consistent. With that being said, speaking of inconsistency, that's one of the biggest problems that I have with the whole business model beyond the course itself. You don't control how many studies show up, who picks you, or even how often you do qualify. So you can't even really build anything valuable around it. And again, guys, you really don't own anything here. You're constantly waiting for opportunities on somebody else's platform on their own watch. And that means your income can be completely sporadic, and it's definitely not something that you can depend on long term. That's why instead of relying on platforms where you're constantly applying for surveys or studies and hoping to get accepted just to make some extra pocket change, I personally prefer building something that I actually own and can scale at the end of the day. That's why if you guys have been following me for a while now, you already know I run the digital leasing model instead. And the whole idea behind the model is pretty simple here. It's all about building small websites around local service niches people are already searching for and need all over the US. So think of anything from roofing to plumbing, or even in my case, fencing repair. And you rank all of those sites to the very top of Google so that anytime somebody in that area searches for the service, they find your site first and they call the number listed on it. And those calls turn into real leads for local business owners who then are more than happy to rent out the site from you and also pay you every single month for the leads because it helps their business grow. For example, I built this fencing repair site in Colorado Springs a few years ago, and that same site continues to bring in calls to this day like clockwork. And because of that, the same business owner pays me every single month because all of those calls turn into real customers, and because local service markets usually have low competition but very high demand for new customers. That's exactly why I built this stucco plaster site in the same city. It works the same exact way, and it continues bringing in leads and producing income for the business I rented out to without me having to constantly depend on different platforms or even wait to qualify for opportunities. That's why when it comes to digital leasing, it's so much different, and it's not even comparable to any other online business models because you actually own 100% of your digital assets. You build your websites once, you rank them, and they continue to pay you long-term because you're in total control of all of your websites. All right, guys, that's it for my full review of the Respondent.io platform. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe down below so you don't miss any future reviews like this one. And if you want to learn more about digital leasing, the same business model that pays me every single month like clockwork to this very day, then go ahead and check out the link in the description below for a free training that covers the whole business model in more detail. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.